Since the Tyne and Wear Metro opened in 1980, over 1.5 billion journeys have been made on its 78 kilometres of tracks. That's a lot of wear and tear, and that's why the Metro is now undergoing the biggest engineering programme in its history. It's costing £385 million and will be carried out in stages across the system until 2022. Nexus, who own the Metro, say that without this work, the system would become unsafe. Trains would have to go much slower and eventually would stop running altogether.
Metro is now 30 years old, and what we need to do is to make sure that it's around for the next 30 years, serving the people of Tyne and Wear. Some key elements of the system are now coming to the end of their design life.
But some parts of the Metro are even older than that. Some of these bridges and embankments were built 160 years ago. This section, which runs between Byker and Tynemouth, is one of the oldest dedicated commuter railway lines in the world. It's been in constant use by passengers since 1839. 200 trains pass through here every day. That means in 28 years there have been nearly 2 million train journeys over these rails. However, in a few days' time, this section will close for 23 days, the longest it's ever been out of use in its entire history. And this is why it had to close. This is the first phase of the Metro all-change modernisation programme. Shutting down sections of line is the only way the work can be done. Just to give you an idea of the scale of things, this work between Byker and Tynemouth is taking 23 days to complete and is costing £20 million. 500 contractors will work on the site. They'll lay 25,000 sleepers and 12 kilometres of new rails, as well as putting in 23,000 tonnes of ballast. It's a massive amount of work, and it can't be carried out overnight or even over a weekend. The sections have to be shut down completely to allow the engineers to work right around the clock. They're removing all the existing tracks, power cables and signals and replacing them with new ones, as well as modernising stations along the route.
We've concentrated on geographical areas so that we can deliver the most work in the shortest space of time. It's a novel experience for Nexus in that we have had to create a whole new set of rules in which we will work to allow this volume of work to be undertaken while still maintaining our health and safety responsibilities for the railway.
During each closure, the rest of the system will run normally, but it's inevitable that some passengers will face a few weeks of disruption and longer journey times while the work's carried out in their area.
It's as important for Metro as that day 30 years ago when Metro first operated. The system is crucial to everybody in Tyne and Wear. It allows people to get round to jobs, to education, to shopping, to leisure activities, and is the core of the public transport system.
Now, for most passengers, much of this modernisation work, such as tracks and cables, won't be that noticeable. But where you will see a big difference is at your local stations, because they're being given a facelift too. While the line is closed here at North Shields, the old station is being demolished and a new one built with better facilities, including a bigger concourse and lifts. Other stations at Meadowell, Howden and Chillingham Road are also being upgraded during this early phase. In all, the entire Metro modernisation programme involves upgrading 45 stations, replacing 120 kilometres of track, power lines and technology, as well as strengthening bridges and embankments. Nexus is pledging to keep disruption to a minimum during the work. They'll be providing frequent replacement bus services where passengers will still be able to use their normal Metro tickets and passes.
What we are doing over these major line closures is making sure that we staff the stations and the bus stops to direct and advise passengers how they can complete their journey safely and quickly.
Before each major line closure, Nexus will be holding public meetings like this one to give passengers as much information as possible. They'll also be putting up posters and distributing leaflets in affected areas. Further information about where work is being carried out and how you may be affected is available at www.nexus.org.uk, or you can call North East Travel Line on 0871 200 2233.